Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, you're there. Huh.
Well, I was in the middle of something that I could not even step away from.
All right. I tried to call
You
you
know,
and
I couldn't answer. I couldn't even mess. I was
40 minutes,
busy.
45 minutes, 50 minutes later, here we are.
Well, listen, I'm busy. Doing boss stuff where I'm making sure people don't work for the company anymore if they do things they shouldn't. So it's
All
a
right.
little more involved than I thought it would be today.
I feel like we're having a really hard time, you and I lately, dealing with this schedule and your work schedule and your time off schedule. Uh,
Very busy person.
but you're not like there's a lot
I
of
am though. I really
there's
am.
but there's a lot of times like on the weekend where you here we go again. We're starting a podcast off cast off arguing about time. But it's like we got the weekend and it's like a three day window for you to fucking find some time to do it. Normally we do it on Sunday, but if you know you're gonna be busy on Sunday, you could take the initiative and say, "Hey, let's do Saturday." Instead, you let it go to Sunday,
Did you
and
argue
then
with Blake like this?
no,
Did you
yeah,
argue with Blake like this? You should
no.
have. You should have argued for the sake of arguing. You should have just argued with him.
I'm sure. I'm sure we had a disagreement about something else, Lou Spector. But
Oh, did you?
I think I don't know. I don't honestly. It's a good segue. I don't remember what we talked about really, and neither does he. And when he came over for the pay-per-view. By the
Right?
way, you should send him a note and thank him for filling in with you on one of these because you really are embarrassing yourself lately, no showing.
Okay.
But you should really like send him some flowers or some buy him a
I'm not. Fuck that
get him
guy.
a
Why,
pizza.
why would I send him anything?
So when he came over Sunday for the AEW pay per view,
Right.
uh, he kind of like leans over and he goes, Howard called me about the podcast, and I go, Howard, listen to the podcast you were on, and he's like, yeah, and he was mad. He said, you buried me on the podcast. And then we both start laughing, and then we both like look at each other, and we're both have that confused look on our face, and neither of us can figure out what he could have possibly said that would be considered burying Howard on the podcast. So I'm
Right.
like, "What'd you say?" And he's like, "I don't know." And I asked him, "What did I say? What are you mad about?" And he wouldn't tell me.
What?
So like there's some kind of like I don't know, some kind of maybe low level simmering heat there now with Howard and Blake, where I guess Howard feels like Blake buried him with something, but neither of us can remember anything we talked about to
What?
remember what the burial could even possibly have been.
First of all, wait. Wait. So now we know Howard listens.
Well, Howard, I wouldn't accuse him of being a regular listener. He may have seen Blake's name on the title and said, "Oh, let me hear this." Also because now I think you and I can agree. I think
Right.
you and I can agree on the Howard Brody mindset, which is something to the effect of if there's someone on that that he knows, he might just assume he's going to talk about him. Like Blake being on.
Oh, he saw that Blake Chadwick, and he was like, "Oh,
Yeah,
maybe he's talking about
right.
me."
Like you and me have it regular. It's not like we're going to talk about Howard
Right.
Brody every podcast. So he
Right.
doesn't have to listen all the
Right.
time unless his name's in the title or something. But with Blake coming on, or if we had someone else, like let's say we had Paul Jones or we had
Oh,
Bruce Santee or any of those ilk, even a Bobby
yeah.
Rogers or a Billy, he might be intrigued to listen now because he thinks somehow his name might pop up.
Right.
and
Right.
and it did, but it was kind of like it was essentially like I mean Blake's coming on not far removed from Howard coming on. It would make sense that we would have discussed something. So I mean it's not a misguided concept, but at the same time
Right.
it could be a little egotistical. To, you know, I could.
So we should name every podcast Howard Birdie.
no, no Howard Brody mentions here. Move along.
I mean, come on, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty funny.
Uh, so
Um,
so yeah, so we were sitting there watching the pod. I mean, not the podcast, the pay per view, and And he brought that up, and
Yeah.
I was just laughing. And we were literally like, we spent some good time, like trying to
But you
think.
didn't go back and listen?
No, what am I gonna fucking? I was. Come on. No, neither of us.
No.
Neither of us have the
No.
talk about busy. I don't have to be busy, too busy to re-listen to a podcast. I already,
Right.
I was already a part of. Not even that I listened to, but I fucking participated in. If I can't remember, what must not have been that memorable in the first, because it was like, I don't know, it was like whatever we talked about Howard. It wasn't like we told some fucking story about him. It wasn't like
Right.
there was some joke. We were telling some joke about him. So whatever was, I don't know what was brought up, but it wasn't like he was mad that I buried him. He was mad at Blake. So I'm like, well, whatever. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, so Blake must have said something.
I, I'm sure he did. Since I'm sure you won't go back and listen to it either, it'll remain a mystery till the end of time, until Howard wants to tell us, because he's the one that's mad. He's the one that knows.
I should ask him. I'd be like, so I hear you're hot at Blake. What did he say?
I mean, you should bring it up. You should be like, Blake says or Ben says Blake told, like make it like grapeviney. That'll
Right,
get
right,
better.
right, right.
Be like Ben said that Blake told him that you're mad at Blake. Yeah, and
Oh.
we'll see how that goes.
And
uh,
it's probably something so stupid that we're both going to be like, oh my God.
well,
Like,
99% of the time, it always,
right,
it's 100% of the time. So,
right, right.
yeah.
So,
Uh,
so what you're saying is I should be careful doing the Howard Brody voice going forward. I don't want to get on the list too.
I,
Is that what you're saying?
I mean, are you worried? I told him.
I'm not worried.
Yeah,
No.
I didn't. Well, it's a rule. It's not like you have a choice. We've
Right,
we've established a rule on this podcast. If you tell a Howard Brody story, you have to do
right.
Howard's voice in it. If you're going to say what he said. So it's a rule. It's not even like you have a choice. But speaking of Blake, I did want to give you the updates
Yeah,
because he fucking. So we know about the whole food thing, where he's notorious for just bringing
right,
food for himself, not for anyone else,
right.
not letting anyone know he's stopping for food
He
on the
doesn't even
way.
ask usually. Right,
Not
right,
even like, hey, no, listen, we've hosted so many times he could just bring something for everybody, like a dozen donuts or something. Can't even do
right,
that.
right,
Can't go, hey, I'm swinging by such and such. Does anyone want anything? Not like on
right.
him. We'll get him back on it. We all
Right,
have
we'll pay him
Venmo
back.
and
Right. We
PayPal and
yeah.
all that shit. It's not like anyone's expecting him to, like if you're swinging by, I don't know, let's say, for the sake of argument, a place he's gone to and brought over here, the Cheesecake Factory. It's not like five people going to expect him to buy Cheesecake Factory for us.
Right.
We're not irrational like him. So he sh- so he does this sneaky Pete thing and thinks he's like kind of like figured out the workaround. He asked us in a thread if
He
there
did.
was,
I saw that.
and
I was
I
gonna
didn't
say he did
answer.
ask.
I didn't answer, and I think
Right.
because I didn't see it, and Prime said he was probably going to eat with Nat and wasn't going to eat when he came over here. He would be full. And so then I guess he messaged my roommate because he didn't hear from me. And my roommate said,
Right.
I don't know. We don't have any plans. We'll probably get some pizza or something. And I guess that was Blake's signal of like, they're getting pizza. I'll go get my own thing.
Right.
But it was like probably. And here's the other point of it is like, just because we might be getting pizza doesn't mean we wouldn't want something for where he is, might think it's a
Right.
better idea or want it with our pizza, or forget what he's getting over there that like we wouldn't have appreciated a bag of chips, or you know what I mean. So he
Right.
comes in, so he shows up, and he's got one of those little plastic shopping bags with
But you made
four
a good point.
four big plastic containers full of sushi.
You made a good point though.
What's that?
Even if okay, me personally, if I was to come over
Mm-hmm.
without you asking me, I would bring something.
Mm-hmm.
Right. First of all, I think we would talk about food first anyway, and be like, hey, what are we gonna order like together? But if not, I would bring a dozen donuts, something as a peace offering. Thank you for letting me come here. It may be anything, right? Like you wouldn't have to ask me. I would bring something that I know that me and you would enjoy, and Marco and Huss would
or
enjoy.
or at least a majority of the people there would enjoy. You can't please everyone, you know.
Right,
But right,
right,
right.
right, right. You know, I mean, I would have brought something to. I mean, I don't know. It's what you do when you go to somebody's house.
I
Like
mean,
you
I
bring
think
something,
I think the
for
bare
an event like
minimum,
that.
the bare minimum is to swing through any store and just grab like
Right.
2 bags of chips. That's the bare minimum, you know,
Minimum. Right.
minimum.
And
But
you got
that's
a
like,
Dunkin' across the street.
but it's
Easily
like,
could have ran to the Dunkin' and got a dozen donuts and a
right. But
snack,
if,
you know?
but what if you're running late, whatever, just a hit and run, grab two
Right,
bags of
right.
chips, bring them over. You don't understand
Right.
how, like, just the concept of anyone bringing something, it's always super appreciated. It's always,
Always,
it
right.
doesn't even matter if it's something anyone even eats. The fact that you thought, you know, you might have gotten like fucking cookies that taste like dog treats or something. At the end of
Right.
the day, it's 100% thought that counts. So he thinks he's got the workaround because we mentioned we might get pizza, and
Right,
he's
right.
getting this. And it's like, yeah, but like, that's not how it works. And then he's like, starts arguing it with me, and I'm like, no, dude, you're not out. No, this
Right.
is no loop. There's no loophole here. You're not like, you didn't get out. You didn't get out of a ribbing, you know, like the semi-monthly fucking mockery,
Right, right.
and the continuation of the ongoing joke amongst people and now the internet, via our podcast, that you are the guy that always shows up with nothing slash or a bunch of stuff
Right.
for yourself. Like it's not even like
Yourself.
you showed up with like a fucking sandwich or a burger. It's like this big fucking it's like 4 big things of sushi. The big, like, not even the half one. It's like the 4, like the 12 by 12 or 15 by 15 plastic clamshell clear, like 4 of them full of fucking this, that, and the other. And he proceeds at some point in the night to fucking eat all that. And I'm just looking at him like, you motherfucker.
So I'm gonna let you know.
Yeah.
I did a little pre-work today,
Uh-huh.
and I reached out to him and I said, "Hey, so what happened with the food situation?" Because I knew we were gonna talk. Wanted to hear his take, and then I was gonna let you do yours and then tell you what he said.
Please.
So, because I thought it was. I mean, look, it's funny because I wasn't there and I wasn't involved, but he said he asked you, which he did. He did ask in the thread, right?
Right.
He did. Nobody responded. He said he personally texted your roommate,
Uh-huh.
and he said that you guys were getting pizza. He didn't throw in the probably or maybe. He said they said they were getting pizza, so I got my own food. Now, I will give him credit. He asked this time.
Right, but he asked him, well, and the answer, I would love for him to I think you should demand the screenshot of that conversation. No, better yet, I will get the screenshot from my roommate. I will ask him for it after his podcast, and we will fucking bury him on the thread afterwards when it comes out that Huss didn't say, oh, we're getting pizza from this place and blah, because we had no idea. It was still like 2 hours into the pay-per-view where Adam's like, I guess we should order something now. What does everyone want? Who wants to order? Where do you want it from? It said, like, it was just like, as it always is, just like off the cuff, because there was no plans.
Well, first of all, I'm with you. We would be. I think if it was me in that situation, we would be off the cuff too. Like he is such like it's his cheat day. He's got it so meticulous and weird.
But even so, if he's like, oh, doesn't mean anyone wouldn't, like, if he's swinging through a sushi place, it's not like, oh, that's a better idea. We'd love some of that, or yeah.
So what I was, what I was gonna say,
I would like that also.
What I was gonna say is the text. If I got the text from Huss that said maybe pizza, probably pizza. If he said we're ordering pizza, it doesn't matter what he said. My response back would have been, well, I'm going to stop and get sushi. Does anyone want anything?
And that's it.
That would be my response.
After my roommate replied to him, I bet the only reply from Blake was okay, if there was a reply at all.
Oh, no doubt. If there was even a reply,
Right. So that's where, again, where he fails to understand how normal humans interact with one another in a courteous way, especially when they're supposed to be friends and you're coming over to someone's house who spent $50 on a
right,
pay-per-view that you're not going to watch for free.
right.
You
I
know?
would have said, "I'm getting sushi. Do you guys want anything?"
Right.
And then the ball's in your court because if you don't respond, go fuck yourself. And
Right.
if you say no, that's on you.
Right.
But he didn't even. I guarantee you, there was no follow up text.
A fucking
But I will say, he
I
asked.
would bet $1,000 right now, sight unseen. I'm going to ask him to send me
Oh,
the
I bet
the screenshot
$1,000 too.
afterwards, but I
Right.
I would take that bet all day long. Yeah.
All day. I would take it every day.
Hmm.
Every day. He would never say, right, right. So now I will say, I saw you guys got a nice sneaking picture of him. I guess Marco did of him sleeping again.
Yeah,
I saw
it's
that.
so funny because I'm sitting. You know how our couches are like an L shape, and there's like a
Right.
little square divot because the fronts of the couches basically touch, and then there's like this square opening in the back where you
Yeah.
could put like where the couches don't touch each other. I was sitting there in a bar stool because there weren't enough room on the couches for everybody. So I'm
Right.
like, I'm the host, and again, I considerate of others. I'm like, let my
Right.
guests sit in the couches, and I'll sit on the stool in the corner here.
Right.
But that means I'm kind of like next to Blake on one couch, and I'm next to Marco on the other couch. I'm between the two, which is a good place. I could
Okay.
talk to both of them. I couldn't hear
Right. Right.
Earl
Right.
because Earl kind of talks in a low
Oh,
voice.
Earl was there. I did not know that.
Earl was there. One of Adam's kickball friends was there.
Nice.
There was some good representation that night. It was
Right.
a
Right.
little bit of
Right. We'll get to
everybody.
Earl. We'll get to Earl in a second because I got
Oh,
something for him.
okay.
But go
I mean,
ahead.
I'm just saying there wasn't just like my two knucklehead Breakfast Club friends. There was a little of everything here. There were other people, even some Adams friends, and so I we're all joking that we know he's gonna fall, and so we're talking over under earlier in the night. We're talking about over under and for which match Blake falls asleep in, and if et cetera, et cetera. And he's like, "Oh, I'm going," and so he eats the food, and then they wait a while before they smoke the fucking the bong that Marco
Right.
brought over. But they were
Right.
hitting pens earlier, so Blake's like making a thing when the bong comes out, and he's like, "Oh, this is probably late enough. I'm not gonna fall asleep, bro." They come back in from the porch patio,
Right.
whatever. After hitting that bong, his ass hits the fucking couch. I swear to God, he's nodding off like my old boss Seth at a morning meeting, doped up on pills. He's nodding off within like fucking 10 minutes, and he's like doing the head droop thing. I called his finishing move
Right.
the
Right.
head
Right.
drop, and I
Yeah.
keep what I do is I'm watching him do it. I keep nudging Marco on my other side. And Marco looks and just starts like doing that like wheezing, giggling thing because he doesn't want to laugh
Right.
loud
Right.
enough to wake Blake up. And we keep trying to
Right.
take pictures, but every time he kind of groggily wakes up and smiles and mumbles something incoherent, pretending like he didn't just fall asleep because
Right.
we were talking over under earlier. But then he finally just like knocks out, and and Adam took that video he sent everyone, and and then he was out. He missed like most of the semi main, and then he missed all of the main. Like I think what was funny was I think who was in it was Moxley. I think in the
Moxley,
main he had knocked out on the match before, and then he kind of woke up at a point before, like during the entrances, and he's like, "No, see, I'm up for." I go, "No, he won. It's over." We were trying to pretend like he missed the entire match,
Oh,
but
that's
yeah,
funny.
I can't even. I guess he kind of wakes up to go home, but man, when
Right.
he hits that thing, it knocks him out for a little
That's a.
while.
He's got like a 45-minute drive home, 30 minutes at
Yeah,
least.
I mean, no, but I
Oh,
mean,
well.
but he like hangs around a little bit afterwards, and then
Oh, okay.
and
Wakes
we
himself up. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
all that. I'm not saying he
Yeah.
he sleep drives home like I used to do
Let's talk
in
about your buddy
college.
Earl.
Well, hold on. I just want to. So,
Oh yeah,
Blake hit the trifecta again. Like he did the not out. He fucking,
right,
he brought he brought the food and didn't ask. It was like the Holy
right,
Trinity,
right.
the
That's
Blake
typical
Trinity.
at this
Yeah,
point. We know that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I
Just
was
what?
surprised he even asked in the first place. I'm just saying. I saw
Well,
him and I was like,
he
did he just
asked.
ask?
He asked because we rib him about it all the time. It's
Right,
the
right,
ongoing
right,
joke
right,
for like years now,
right,
and everyone's in on the joke, and he wants to he wants to somewhere along the way he's trying to like it's like one of those loose specter things where he's trying to own it to like kind of like
right.
take some of the sting out of our punches. Like
Yeah,
if
right,
it's
right.
not bothering
Doesn't work
him,
though.
if it's not bothering him, then we'll stop.
Right, we'll stop.
Right.
Right.
So he was trying to like say, well, I asked, and I tried to explain to him, I don't think you understand how this works, because that was
Right.
asking and then no follow up if you're going somewhere else is bullshit. But I don't know if he gets it, man. I don't know. Might have to have Howard explain
No,
it
he
to him.
obviously does.
Might have
Right,
to have
right.
Howard explain
Yeah, I'll get to the bottom of the Howard thing.
it.
So Earl
Yeah.
Mitchell,
Uh huh.
former NFL player.
Uh
Listen, do I got to come down there and teach him how to make a TikTok? Because he is atrocious.
huh. What's he?
On
What? Just TikToks of him walking down the street. Someone like following
it.
behind him.
Oh yeah, and then like his little motivational morning like stretches and like
I
stretching by the intercoastal.
It doesn't show him actually doing the workout. It just shows him doing the stretch.
So I was gonna say all he does is the stretch. You don't see anything else,
I
just the stretch part.
I did say, I said, Earl, what's the deal? I said, what's the deal? Because he puts it on Instagram and stuff too. I said, what's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
deal with your social media? Who's filming you walking? Like it, because it's always like
Right, right,
a four
right.
second
Yeah, yeah.
clip of him like walking away from someone
Right,
with like a
right.
nice setting, like he's over by the water at Riverfront or
Yeah,
something.
intercoastal. Right, right.
And
Yeah,
I'm like, what are you asking someone that's like chilling on a park bench to film you for 5 seconds or
right.
what as you walk by?
What do you say?
He said, no, it's my mom on the scooter when she, like, because,
No,
yeah, yeah,
which
yeah.
makes it even better.
Yeah.
That makes it even better. Yeah, and it's like you need a TikTok, and they're like, his TikToks are atrocious. They're just like he's trying to be like cool and trendy, but yeah, no, he's like
I'm
not
going to make
good.
sure he listens to this and you.
I mean, I'm willing to teach him. I'm willing to come down there and show him how to become a viral TikTok sensation.
So it's funny, Earl, because I like to do this with Marco a lot. I don't do it with everyone, but I like to kind of like he's not. Let's settle this hash right now. Some of my friends I like to every now and then just openly accuse them of being racist, even though they're not. Like
Right.
like I at one point I was gonna message Marco and say, I think I did. I don't know if I did or I thought I was gonna do it and didn't do it. But at one point I was gonna go, "Are you coming over for the Open Door pay per view?"
Right.
And then if he was like, "Yeah," I would go, "Oh, I wasn't sure because you hate Japanese people." you
Oh,
know.
oh,
So I don't think I did it because when he was at the house, at one point I think he was asking who someone was, and I just turned to him. I said, "Listen, I know they all look the same to you, but this is this guy, this that guy," and the whole room like started to like laugh and whatever. And that segued into Adam telling Earl that we were we were watching 12 Years a Slave earlier. It was just on TV and it's got a
right,
lot of good actors in it, and it's a fucked up movie. You're just like it's on and you're like you can't believe what you're watching.
right, right.
And I said to Adam at one point during the movie, "You better fucking watch yourself or I'll tell Earl you were laughing through 12 Years a Slave." And what happened was I wasn't obviously gonna do it. That was a joke between me and him. But Adam like tells Earl that I told him I was gonna do that. I'm like, I don't care. It
Oh my god.
doesn't make me look racist. You're the one. I said you're the one that was laughing through 12 Years a Slave.
And what did Earl say?
He just shakes his head laughing because he knows we're full of shit. We're just fucking
Right,
a
right.
bunch of scratch ass idiots,
Oh man. Yeah, I just fucking Blake. I ridiculous. He's ridiculous.
He is. He is absolutely ridiculous. It's the
Well, it's funny now. He's got Howard Heat. When he, I think it was because he saves every Facebook post known to man. What was it? 6 years ago today, he pissed off Paul Jones. So it's perfect.
oh yeah,
He
they
just
showed that screenshot of like
Excel spreadsheet. Yeah.
right. Have you learned Excel yet? I've watched some YouTube videos and then like I think Paul, I don't know what
You wonder
Paul's
why Paul got mad.
yeah, it's like you said you knew how to use Excel on your fucking resume and then you didn't know it.
Right.
Well, have we talked
The
about
funny
that
part
on
is,
have we talked or was
yeah,
that on the
we
phone?
have.
I don't know if it
No,
was
we talked about it.
yeah, it's
We
like if
did.
you're gonna
But,
lie
but
about
here's my thing.
but like if you're
Right.
gonna
I
lie
would have
about something
faked it at least.
well, if you're gonna lie about something on your resume, you need to know.
Right.
You better learn it before you show up day one.
I would have at least faked it, not been like, oh, I watch YouTube videos. I'd be like, no, I'm good, I'm good. Because any questions, I would have phoned a friend and been like, hey, I need help with this Excel file. Or, like, he literally was like, he is not good. Not a good worker.
No.
He's not.
No.
So, it's funny because somebody asked me at work last week, you in Orlando, and somebody said, you're really good at your job and you've been here a long time. I said, good at my job? No, I'm not. And they're like, what do you mean? I said, I've been faking it for 8.5 years. They're like, what? I was like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I was like, I just pretend. I'm good at, I am good at shaking hands and kissing babies and, oh yeah, I got it. And then I just, ask somebody for help or steal it off somebody else. Like, I don't know what I'm doing.
It's
I
ironic.
skated by for this long.
It's ironic because, like, I saw Ric Flair do the quote the other day of like, hard work beats talent unless talent works hard.
Right.
And I don't think you qualify as any three of those things.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't.
You don't work hard. You don't.
Nope.
You're not talented. And
nope.
Yeah. And I would accuse Blake of having the talent and but not the hard work.
Well, I mean, that's actually true.
I think he coasts on the talent a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think you're.
Since he never listens. He doesn't listen to this. Even if he does, I'll tell him to his face. I don't care.
Well, he's no Chris Van. What's his name?
Chris Van Vliet. Listen, that's hard work. That's hard work over talent. That's hard work over talent, and it proves out. He's the one with the fucking Vegas deal and the nice podcast studio and whatever else. I mean,
Blake should have used TikTok when COVID happened. He should have been on TikTok.
You and I 1,000% agree. We've talked about that several. I love that. This is the two people that have no business talking about someone's future, talking about their future. Yo, not even like your mom and I. We're talking about your. It's like fucking asshole friend 1 and asshole friend 2 have been talking about your future here.
Yeah, I mean, look.
It doesn't make us wrong.
I think we all know that, right? So yeah. Yep. Yeah, they got me all thrown off with this Blake thing. Fucking yeah, I don't know. Fuck that guy. Anyway, I haven't talked to you since I was in Orlando, right?
Here, no.
No. So
because you keep blowing off your responsibilities. Sorry, people.
I go to we go to Orlando and for work, and we're shit show of a meetings. The meetings were fine. So we didn't have anything planned at night, so we're kind of like we went go-karting at Andretti's, which is fast, but it does nothing for me.
Go-karting. Fucking 40-year-olds go-karting.
Right. I was like, I would never pay for this out of my own pocket. But anyway, we go to Disney Springs. Disney's like, I don't know what you call it. It's got restaurants and shops and stuff. So we get there, and one of the people say, oh, this bakehouse has like the best cookies you'll ever eat in your life.
We're going to talk about cakes and pies here. Here we go.
No, this is the reason. Hold on. So one of the guys says, well, I'm going to go wait in line. So I said, I'll wait with you because I wasn't doing anything.
What's the place
called? I get in line with him. Gideon's Bakehouse.
Never heard
So it's only been open for a year. It's a concept of, it took 5 years to make this recipe. And it's, so we wait in line for about 30 minutes. Right. 30 minutes. And we get inside. Everything looks good. I spend $50. He spends $50. The cookies are out of this world. Like I'm not even kidding you. I don't know if you can eat a regular cookie.
What is $50?
Super.
What does $50 buy you?
It got me 3 slices of cake, which were huge, 1 cookie, and then 1 cookie with ice cream on top.
How big is the cookie?
They're gigantic. Like for one person to eat a cookie is, I mean, you got diabetes after.
I
It's
mean, you
like you have
talking
to
like
share the cookie.
12 inches across, 10 inches across?
No, I'm talking. It's a fat cookie. Like
Oh,
so, and it's very like they all like the one I got was cookies and cream, and there was we got like I think we ended up buying like 6 or 7 different cookies. The other guy bought the cookies, I bought the cake. So we spent all this money, and we're like kind of all like testing out eating. And a cop walks by, and he's like, "Hey, how long did you wait?" I said, 30 minutes." He said, 30 minutes? He said, the wait's usually 4 to 8 hours. Who the fuck would wait 4 to 8 hours for a cookie?
not
Like,
me.
to me, that's absurd.
30
Right.
minutes is
So,
pushing it.
right, right. That was my limit was 30. Like, anymore, I'm leaving. Like, the cookies were outrageous. Like, I mean, outrageous. Now the cakes were not good at all. Like, total waste of money on the cake. I was disappointed in the cakes. Like, didn't do it for me. Uh, could have saved $50 easily. But the cookies, I'm not kidding you. I don't know. I mean, I can eat a regular cookie because I'm a fat fuck, but that cookie was the best cookie I've probably ever had in my life. Uh, so when I got home, I still had the chocolate chip one. I mean, the cookies and cream one left. I was gonna like split it, with everybody in the house, and nobody wanted it, so I ate the whole fucking cookie myself. I
Of
was
course you
so
did.
sick that night. You don't know how sick I was. Like throwing up in my mouth. I was so
You
sick
didn't
from
take
this fucking cookie.
your little pills there?
Listen, those pills stopped working like 3 weeks ago, pal. I took one today; it didn't even work.
Well, you
So
got
I'm
to take it
I'm
for a few
so
days in a
fat.
row. That's how it works.
I take it every day.
You
I'm
dummy.
so fat right now.
Oh.
It doesn't matter.
Oh,
It doesn't matter what I take.
have you swung by a scale lately?
No, but
This segues into a good
oh,
proposition.
this segues into. There's a reason I was telling the story about the cookies.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
as we're eating the cookies, whatever, we got a guy in our like that I work with. He's always taking pictures, like, but he takes pictures where nobody's looking. Like he never's like, "Hey, pose, guys," or say cheese. He just takes he just snaps pictures. So the next day, he sends a group text out like of the pictures he took, and the first picture, I'm in the background, like looking off into space. The person who took the picture, I was looking the other direction. I I texted him back and said in the group text, I said, "Please do not post that picture. I did not know I was this fat." Like I was blown away how fat I looked.
Because you only
And
get the front view at the fucking mirror, you know?
no, right. And I was like kind of standing to the side when he took the picture, and my stomach was. I looked 9 months pregnant. I was
I'm
like, "You cannot post this picture."
I'm really
And
right there with you, pal.
it was one of those situations where no one wanted to respond to my comment because they were like, like we're gonna offend you if we tell you the truth, or so everybody just ignored it. And I sidebar messaged him and I said, "You gotta delete that picture. Like I got a cookie in my hand, like I look like this fat fuck eating a cookie. Like you gotta get rid of it. Like
What's
we
this
can't have that picture
what's this guy's name?
out here.
Is he on Facebook?
No, we're not. No, he's not. He's no social media.
I'll have to
So
find him.
I you can't have this picture can't surface. Like it's just that bad. So he's like, I won't post it, whatever. And he's like, no, you don't look that bad. I was like, you don't gotta lie to me. Like I look like maximum capacity. Like this is ridiculous. So I had a 6 hour drive home, and I'm like just thinking about this picture, and I just can't believe how bad I look. And I've come to the
Wait, is
conclusion
that the
that
6 hour drive home with the cake defrosting next to you on the fucking seat?
yeah, I took a fork with me too. That's the best part. So I had a fork with me, so I occasionally would reach over and eat a piece of cake. But I came to the conclusion that I'm going to my mom and dad's house this weekend, the 4th of July, and that on Tuesday I have to change my lifestyle because I don't think I'm going to go keto, but I'm going to start working out and I'm going to start walking because I that can't be healthy how bad I look.
Well,
Like it's not
that's
healthy.
so. Let's do the competition because I was
I
almost.
feel like we have to.
I've kind of like been like I haven't been eating that much this week, and I've kind of been ketoing it, I might break that tonight. I don't know. I don't have a lot of fucking money or food around right this second,
Right.
but I feel like we're in the same position. And I was thinking of starting a new TikTok and just start with me weighing in and it being a disaster. But I figure like if I'm starting this and now you're starting this, let's fucking make a competition now. It'll fucking push us more. But we got to come up with something better. Let's do the weigh-in Saturday or Sunday for Monday.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Let's do the weigh-in for Monday's show.
Okay.
Dude, I might weigh as much as you right now. Can we talk about how when I got on the?
I don't want to weigh myself. I'm fucking nervous.
No, I don't even know how much I weigh because I have one of those non-digital scales. So the
Right.
numbers are written on the wheel that spins. It's spun all the way through.
Like you literally went around.
I went more than the numbers that are on the fucking wheel. I don't remember how much the numbers went up to, but it's like
Right.
it's in the two somethings, the high two somethings,
Right. Right.
So I think you and I might be
All
like,
right. So let's do that. That's the plan.
okay. So Sunday we'll weigh in,
Yeah.
and then
Right.
we'll start the bat. Because listen, like us just fucking being accountable to ourselves is horseshit. We gotta like.
No, yeah, we got to do this. I honestly,
We got to
I'm,
be
like,
chasing.
afraid
We
of
always
my
got to
health.
be chasing some kind of reward, like a gold ring of
Right. And I'm afraid I'm afraid he's going to say 300.
I I know I'm not at 300 yet because I kind of halted the weight gain process, if not started the
Right.
weight loss process. But God, I'm praying you're at 300. And look,
I think I am.
since you're not starting till Tuesday, I know that like by the time you weigh in Sunday, you won't have like started the process of losing a little before the weigh-in, which is probably good for you. Like it's like you want to have a high number for the weigh-in.
Right.
Technically, I might fucking throw a few rocks in my pockets when I weigh in. So
Well, I just want to survive.
yeah,
That's all.
survive what?
Life.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's fair enough. I'm there with you. So I think all
I
right.
can't even sleep right now. I'm so uncomfortable
All right.
because I'm so fat.
Well,
There's not even a comfortable way to sleep.
I'm not at that spot now. I think my body got used to how big I got. But see that friendly thing you did with Speedy fizzled out. Neither of you've done a weigh-in update, and I bet you Speedy's all lost all of his gains too, especially flying to Chicago to work for AEW. He's probably had all the fucking hot dogs and pizza you could fucking find in that town.
Right.
Got some of those beef sandwiches and whatever else. So
Yeah,
okay,
no.
so
all right. So
this is a good idea.
weigh in this weekend.
Yeah, I think we got to.
This is bad.
So you need to do some research on Blake when we sign off, and I'll ask Adam for a screenshot of his conversation with him.
Oh, I'm going straight to Howard as soon as we get off the phone.
Right. Okay. Let me have an
All
update
right.
on that. I'll talk to you later, there, fat boy. Listen,
All right, I'm going to public.
we're gonna have to do a healthy dose of fat shaming. We're gonna have to find some whatever humiliation the loser has to do this time has to be good to make us not want to do it.
All right.
We've got to come up with something. All right. I guess that's it.
All right, goodbye.
I'm done with you.
Bye.